Namaskar. I Shambhavi welcome you all to your channel Galactic Echoes. So let's start exploring the wisdom of Vedic astrology. So we'll be doing the third episode of What is the Rising in your D1 chart series. Today we'll be talking about the Gemini rising in your D9 chart. How will it lay a basic foundation in your life post marriage or after the age of 36 years in your life? Being a Gemini ascendant, what are the basic traits which you can see? We'll try to figure it out today. So let's start the video and let's dive in. So, you must have heard people who are more childlike when they are in a more mature advanced age. This is the same rising we are talking about. So, with Gemini rising, the first and the foremost thing which you will see is that you will behave more childish with the advancing age. You will be more chatty, you'll be more, you will be more adventurous oriented personality. You would want to take risks, you would want to have jokes and youngsters. Your personality will be more young than before as you age. Emotional depending will be very much based on losses or gains you make, materialistic losses or gains basically. So if you go through that deal and if you successfully crack that particular deal which you wanted to do since all these years, you will be very happy, you will be out of the world, and you would want to just you will think that I've conquered the world and it is all about me and my life, and life is beautiful. That sort of a personality you'll become post marriage. And if you lost something materialistically, maybe a hoarded wealth, a part of your hoarded wealth, or some your bank account, it goes down or something, that sort of a thing, whenever it happens in your life, you'll be very much drained through energy. You'll think that it has drained me a lot, and you'll be depressed like a child. You'll think that the world has shattered and there's nothing left to be done with this world. This sort of a personality you are. So yes, it gives you wavery mind, that is also a thing. And you will want to go up and down, you'll want to explore the world through that roller coaster of experiences in your life. Now I'm going to talk about the most controversial point of this whole thing, because we are looking into the marriage perspectives and Gemini is a dual natured sign, right? So yes, it gives you that wobbly nature. You won't stand firm in your marriage. So yes, it can give you affairs, but that will totally depend on the position of Mercury. Are they intentionally done, or you are seeking adventure, or you are trying to intentionally harm your partner or your spouse? That all will depend on the placement of Mercury, the seventh lord, which is the Jupiter, and of course the seventh lord of your D1 chart. So yes, a complete analysis is required, but in so many dual natured risings in the D9 chart, we have seen that the affair thing is very common. You will see these things happening because the duality comes into the personality of the person, and they are very much, they cannot stand affirm to a single commitment to their partner or their spouse. So this can be a major drawback of this rising. So basically Mercury is a trader, right? Mercury is it's completely a trader. He just want to balance out all the balance sheet. He just want to clear out that dues and those non-performing assets, and it just want to do those things which are for the profit of it. So now here the thing which again comes as a drawback is that if you are not a trader in by profession, if you are into something maybe a regular job or any creative sort of a profession or anything which is not related to trading or profit loss business sort of a setting, then what you will do is that you will become a trader in your marriage. You would want to have that profit out of your spouse and out of that relationship. You would think that I am not getting anything from this relationship. Why I am here? Why should I stick to this person? Why is it so that I have to give all my efforts and my time into this relationship and I am not getting anything back in return? So this will be the sort of mentality with this rising, if specifically you are not into trading or business by profession. So I would suggest that it is important, if you do something like that, if you have to completely negate all these things, so maybe start reading about stock markets, start learning about stock market. That would also it will rage down this tendency of yours, because you will seek that profit loss relationship with your spouse, and you would want to trade your relationships with everyone, which is not a good thing, because relationships are not based on profit and loss, they are based on the firm belief and accepting the person with their problems and with their faults. So the relationship which you establish, and the marriage as a relationship, is the most, it should be the most pious one according to me. And it should be not into the realm of profit and loss, that I am giving 50%, you have to definitely pour into 50% of your efforts or of your time or of your money into this relationship. So this shouldn't be the way. Now, breaking the myth here that Gemini is actually the most sensual sign of all the 12 signs in the Vedic astrology, because the two twins which are holding each other's hands, they are not female or male, they are each other's counterparts. So one is a female entity and another one is a male entity. The Gemini sign is more sensual than even Scorpion sign, because Scorpion is the sign, it shows hidden secret desires. Now, will those desires be manifested or not? That will depend greatly on the position of Mars and Ketu, and of course of the sign. But basically, what it shows is that all the things are hidden. They are, maybe they are just only inside the person, and they never gets revealed. That sort of a thing is Scorpio. But Gemini is the most sensual sign, because it represents that sensuality in its pictorial representation, right? So you would want that charge of sensuality in your married life with your spouse specifically. And there have been cases where that if the partner is not very much into sensuality, and they are governed by sattvic planets like Jupiter, so if they are not into that, they don't possess the charge of energy of sensuality, you would feel frustrated within the union. So this is something, a major thing to be noted. But yes, the intensity would depend on the placement of, again, Mercury and the seventh lord as well. So that has to be analyzed, and we cannot say up to what extent it may be stretched. So if you're Vagotam rising, meaning if you have your Navamsa rising as also Gemini, and your birth chart is also starting with the Gemini sign, so you are Gemini rising there as well, then you will be a Vargotam Lagna, right? So what it shows is that you will have a long life, a blessed one, by the blessings of, the blessings will be bestowed by Lord Shiva, because Gemini is a dual sign, and dual signs are being bestowed by Lord Shiva. So yes, you will feel that energy of being blessed, of being having a long prosperous life. But the major thing which comes here is that all the non-living karakas will be very much enhanced with Vargotam rising, right? You will have that prosperity, you will have a charge of energy towards aiming at your goals, and all these things will be there, they'll be present in your marriage setup. But the problem will be in the marriage itself, that because you were Gemini rising before and you are still a Gemini rising, it would pose challenges in your married life. Why? Because Navamsa chart is a double entity chart. It is the chart of intermingling your energy and your spouse's energy. So it is not a single entity chart. It represents that intermingling of energy, and if you are not changed from what you were before in the past, then it indicates a major karma or major problem related to married life. So you will have the prosperity of all the world and happiness of all the world, but not in the form of happy married life. This is something, because you are not changing with the incoming of that person, right? With the incoming of that spouse, you were Gemini in your birth chart, and you are again Gemini in the Navamsa chart. So yes, it will pose challenges in your married life with your spouse. Now, because as I've already said that Mercury is a trader, right? It wants to trade. And what is a trader is like, what a businessman is like, they want to trade for self and for their family. They don't have any other interest, either in the nation or in the people of their community as well sometimes. not even in the global issues. They are not concerned of that at all. Businessmen on this planet Earth are the most self-centered people present here, right? So, as written in the classical text, that the planets placed in the Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius sign, they are governed by the themes of Dwapar Yuga. Now, what is the theme of Dwapar Yuga? So, there are basically four dharma, which is Vishwadharma, Rashtradharma, Samadharma, and Swadharma. Swadharma is the duty towards yourself. Samadharma is duty towards your society. Rashtradharma is duty towards your nation. And Vishwadharma is duty towards your planet, towards the Mother Earth, right? Now, being governed, your chart is governed by the themes of Dwapar Yuga, and the planets placed in it will empower you as a native to only follow the two dharms out of all these four dharm, which are Samaj Dharm and Swadharm. Samaj Dharm is duty towards your society, and society is not your community or your religious community or your fraternity. It is not like that. Samaj Dharm in today's modern world is your family, because Swadharma in today's modern world is duty towards yourself, not even your kids, not even your spouse, not even your parents. Swadharma is completely you, yourself. So what it shows is that because you are a trader and your Navamsa chart is governed by all those trading qualities, so you would only want to work for your relatives, basically your family members, your parents, your spouse, your kids, and for you. That is the basic feeling inside you post marriage or after the 36 years of your life. I will only work for my people. Like if you are Aries rising in your birth chart, you would have that passion to work towards the world, towards making world a better place. But after 36 or after the marriage, you'll think that I just only want to work for my people, for my family, and for myself. So this is something prominent trait. It will be a prominent trait post marriage in your life. Now, because of the fact that although it is a dual natured sign, it is a, yes, it might give you affairs in the extramarital affairs in marriage. It might also give you duality in your nature. You will be a selfish person. You will only want to work for you and you for your family. But because of the fact that Mercury is a benefic energy and it rules your Navamsa chart, so unless or until your fourth, seventh, or 10th house of the Navamsa chart are not occupied by any malefics, Sun is not considered malefic in this case, then it will be good. So you would want to work for your family and you would want to work for yourself, but only through righteous means. You would not want to destroy another's life, or you would not want to get into that cutthroat competition that either way I just want to achieve it and whatever it costs. Not that sort of a thing will be inside you. So this is something which you will see with this placement, unless or until your 4th, 7th, 10th house are either empty or they are occupied by benefic planets. So this will be the case because Mercury is a benefic energy ruling your Navamsa chart. Now here is another thing, that your ascendant lord Mercury placed in the Trikon, meaning 1st, 5th, or 9th house, or in the Kendra houses, meaning 4th, 7th, or 10th house, or the 1st house, will give and it will amplify your results. Now results can be negative or positive. Now it will completely depend on the position of Mercury in the birth chart. If it is debilitated, yes, you can see some challenges getting magnified in your life. If it is exalted with Rahu, then also you can see some challenges in your life getting magnified. If it is debilitated with Mercury sitting there, that you will feel that many a times in my life I have encountered situations which were like a blessing in disguise sort of a thing. So these are all other combinations which will be, then you will be able to understand upon a deeper analysis of the chart of all it would depend on the horoscope analysis, full horoscope analysis. But the major thing will be, yes, you will see amplification of your results. Now what are they in nature? It would definitely depend on the placement of Mercury. Now all sorts of Mercurian and Geminian qualities will be the base of your relationship, because your first house of Navamsa chart is the seventh house of your spouse. Why? Because the seventh house of your Navamsa chart is the first house of your spouse. It represents your spouse. Directly opposite to it is the first house, which where the Gemini sign falls. So Gemini, like chatty behavior, having a regular conversation, will be the core themes in your, they will be forming a base in your relationship. Sensuality also, it would really matter. Physical intimacy would matter a lot in your case, but above that, the major thing which will be affecting your relationship would be conversation, the most important thing. Or short trips with your family, short traveling, or trading, business, or that sort of a profit loss relationship, or making profits or losses together. That sort of a thing would be the major theme in your case. It will form a base in your life, in your married life. Now after marriage, your family would be very much caring. Your face would become, uh, it would beautify, it would have the charm of, it would be considered very charming, that you have a different kind of light in on your face. People would say this thing to you. And you would be very much into eating seafood either, or into eating good quality food. Like after marriage, you will not settle up for those mundane basic dinners. You would want something extra every day. Your short trips would be very much, either they will be to some regal royal places, or you would see that your siblings after your marriage, they are getting ego stricken or pride stricken. And you would maybe get into some creative projects with your younger siblings as well. Post marriage, your home will be very much organized, and it will have a time, kind of timetable routine, that you are your time of waking up and sleeping and going to bed is all fixed, and you don't dodge it, and you are very much organized and more health oriented sort of a personality at your home. You have evolved into that thing, and you would want to overanalyze things, and these things are not neatly packed in a house, or this thing should be better, this area we can renovate it up. Those things will be seen in your personality after marriage. Your children would be very much, they will be very much creative, and they'll be very much observational sort of a personality, and they will observe the structure of everything. That this, if they'll see a table, they'll say it is made up of legs, three legs and a top, a circular top, that sort of a thing. So they will be very much inclined towards observing the structure of anything, and they would be very much hardworking. They would be very much balanced children. They are like, I would want to play, but I would also do my homework, that sort of a thing. People, they will be your children. Your romantic affairs will be very much balanced. That if you do get into any extramarital affair post marriage, so you would make it sure that you spend 50% of your time with your family as well. You don't have to neglect them. That sort of a personality you will become. Your daily routines, your challenges and your disputes will be very much hidden. You would not want to discuss them with your family, and it will constantly transform you. You'll see that you will feel at the end of your life that those transformation and those challenges were important for me in order for my evolution. They have evolved me into a better person. That will be the theme in your case, and you'll see that your spouse will be a person who will be very much wisdom oriented or sort of a personality. They might be chubby, they might be they will have that attractive charm in their personality by wisdom. They are not into very much professional courses, or they are not very much educated, but they will be having that wisdom, which is important. See, intelligence is very much different from wisdom. Intelligence is completely a different thing, wisdom is completely a different thing. And they'll be very much have that philosophical kind of inclination. They would want to express their religious views or any views in a very philosophical way. They will be that kind of a personality. Your in-laws will be very much organized, hardworking, structured. They can also work for an organization, or they might own their own organization of some kind also. That can be also the case. In-laws might have some knee related problem also. This can also be seen. They might have underwent some knee surgery, or that sort of a thing. Your higher beliefs will be very much unconventional. You would want to learn about foreign philosophies. You would want to, maybe that is why you are not a Indian or Hindu by origin, but you are still watching the videos on Vedic astrology, because you want to connect with that, and maybe your D9 is activated till now when you are watching this video. So this is the thing which you will see, that you are drawn towards unconventional sources of philosophy, religious beliefs. The acceptance towards different kind of religions should be there, and I would want to learn it. Your profession and your career will mean everything to you, and not in a competitive way, but in a very spiritual way, that you will feel that I was destined to be here. I have that kind of a divine connection with my profession. That sort of a feeling you will have. Your profession, they can, you might also travel abroad because of your profession, or you might settle in a foreign land because of your profession, and you would want to give people advice or counseling. That sort of a profession can also be seen. You would be very much charged up when you are into spiritual kind of talks, or you are into spiritual kind of learnings at your workplace. If you listen to a particular hymn or a particular mantra in the morning before going to work, you'll feel that, oh my god, this is the greatest thing I can do, and now my all day is set. That sort of a personality you will become. Your social circle will be very much passionate, competitive, and you will also see that your social circle is totally replaced. It has been renewed completely. So people you knew before your marriage may or may not be in your social circle now, after you getting married or after the 36 years of your life. So this will be also the thing. Your incoming gains will be very much they'll be very much bulky sort of a thing. If they are coming in, they'll be in huge numbers. If they're not coming in, they would not be anything at all. That sort of a thing you will see with your incoming gains. Your higher beliefs, you connected to spirituality, will be very much materialistic in way. I want the best of the bestest scented sticks. I want best of the gurus. I want best of the mentors to guide me. If you have, I have to walk on the spiritual path. I want that environment, that good materialistic environment of meditation, that peaceful environment. I want good statues of Buddhas or good environmental setup for me to meditate. That sort of a personality you will become. That you cannot meditate sitting on your bed, or you would not get into, you cannot connect yourself to the divine within the basic mundane ways. You would want something extra every time. Now the most important thing which we have to take into consideration is that any water rising in the birth chart cannot transition into the air of Gemini. So what does it mean is that you can be anything. You can be Aries, Leo, Sag. You can be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You can be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, but you cannot be any water element sign in your birth chart. Meaning you cannot be Cancer, you cannot be Scorpio, you cannot be a Pisces rising in your birth chart, and then you transition into the sign of Gemini in your Navamsa chart. Actually, reading transition is very important. If you were fire, you had that passion and you had that glowing energy in yourself, and now you change into the air of Gemini. Now the air of Gemini is very different from the air of Aquarius. Why? The air of Gemini is a dual nature sign. The air of Gemini is very dangerous, let me tell you first of all. Why? Because it is a air sign. The imagination, the impracticalism and that sort of a thing will be present in you, and on top of that it is a dual natured sign. So that wobbly nature, should I do this or not, should I do that or not, that fickle mindedness will be present into your personality every time. So yes, from the fire you have become into an air, so it will show that you had that passion in you, you had that glowing up energy in you, and after you getting married, everything is now evaporated into the air. It is disappeared into the air. Now you are thinking before doing anything. Now you are thinking, should I do this or not? I think it is just only my imagination. It can only be achieved in imagination. That sort of a thing can also be seen. If you're transitioning from air to air, now it will depend if you are a fixed sign or if you were a movable sign. So your fixed next, your stubbornness it has become dual nature. If you are a Aquarius rising and you were those, you had that fixed air of in yourself, that whatever I'm imagining and whatever I'm dreaming and whatever I'm passionate about is always correct. You are not now more dual natured, and you think that maybe I should take the suggestions of others as well. Maybe what I'm saying is not correct, that sort of a thing. So basically, the transition which is happening, fire to air to air, or earth to air, is very important to study, because all the scenarios of your married life will be completely dependent on this transition, will be there present, and it will really define and it will alter the results greatly. So this is something which is important to be taken into consideration. Now the last thing which is to be noted is that if you are not a Virgotham rising in your birth chart, so maybe if you are Aries rising in your birth chart, so Gemini sign is falling in the third house of yours. And it is very important to check where this Gemini sign is falling in your D1 chart, in your birth chart. Now this house, it will tell the reasons and will be the triggering point of activation of your Navamsa chart, will be the triggering point leading you to getting married. They'll be the reasons behind all the Navamsa activation. So basically, if you are a Aries rising in your Navamsa chart, so Gemini is falling in the third house. So your younger siblings, your short trips, your business meetings, your profession related to media, TV, or radio, that sort of a thing, will form a basis for activation of your Navamsa chart. So basically, what it shows is, if you are a Aries rising in your Navamsa chart, maybe you met your spouse on radio, on TV, or you saw each other through an advertisement or that sort of a thing, and maybe you were introduced to each other by your younger sibling. That can also be the scene. Or you meet each other through matrimonial websites, or you accumulated all that effort to put into your marriage, and it can also indicate a love marriage, because love marriage cannot be done without the third house, where courage and efforts are needed. So this is the thing which you can see. So you should check where your Gemini sign is falling in the birth chart. It will really define how things are going to be and how it will be starting in your life, leading to your Navamsa activation and you getting married. So now if you want to watch what kind of a thing will affect your Navamsa getting activated, I have made all the D1 rising, and the playlist is attached below in the description. You should check it, and you should then be able to get the insights on how it is going to trigger your Navamsa chart. Now this was my understanding of you being an Gemini rising in your Navamsa chart. If you really like the content of this video, do not forget to like it and share it with your friends and family. And if you regularly want to see such amazing content on astrology, do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you.